ready. Once again, hello everybody. Chris Needham on the Lone Star Conference Network as we get ready in our media football day to interview Sean Johnson, who is the athletic director at Angelo State University. And I love stories like this, to just show how old I am, but I broadcast University of Central Oklahoma football for years. Years ago when we played Angelo State, Sean Johnson was the sports information director.
That's right, yeah.
From that point, you've gone on to other NAIA, Division II, Division I football subdivision, BCS type schools, and then back to Angelo State as the athletic director. What a transition, and it's something I know you've got to be very excited about to come back to Division II football.
Oh, I love Division II.
Division II overall, not just football.
Yeah, Division II athletics is great. I mean, it's a fantastic model. It's something, an environment I enjoy working at. It's great for my family. And, it's a great group of student athletes and coaches. We want to win just as bad as everybody else, believe me. We want to win as bad as Auburn and Alabama and LSU and Oklahoma. We just do it a little differently. And I really like our model. I love Division II athletics, certainly love Division II football, and I love Lone Star Conference. We've got a great thing going on here, and we want to make it bigger and better.
From sports information director at Angelo State to now the athletic director, but when you were SID, playing as Angelo State has always done in the high school city stadium there at Angelo State now, September 13th, at home, your home opener, you are playing on campus, and the Angelo State community is thrilled.
Yeah, we're really excited. First, we're very appreciative of the people, the private donors, the people in the community that made this happen. Certainly the LeGrand, First Committee, Federal Credit Union, San Angelo, and some other folks who really stepped up to the plate. It's certainly great as an athletic director, and great for our football program, and it's great for our campus community. But the thing that I'm most proud of is the fact that the impact it's going to have on our student athletes. For them to be able to walk out of their locker room, down the stairs, onto the field with their name on it. When you get to be our age, you kind of forget how important those things are to 18 to 22-year-olds. It's really important. And I remember when we actually put the turf down last fall, before a home game down the street at San Angelo Stadium, our guys were just standing out the back of the locker room just staring at it. They were so excited about it, to be able to do things on campus. It's going to be great for our student body. It's going to be great for our alumni for tailgating. It's really kind of a dream come true. That facility was built in 1978. And originally, the thought was that maybe we'd play football there someday. And now it's one of those dreams that's become a reality, and we're very excited about it, and really looking forward to September 13th. And we just think it'll bring a whole new aspect to Ram football and really bring the community closer together.
We are taping this interview at the Lone Star Conference Media Days, and at that media luncheon, Stan Wagnon, the commissioner, stated the Lone Star Conference leads all of Division II in football attendance, which is something to be proud of. And at Angelo State, all this can do is just roll as far as attendance, being able to be on campus.
Well, I think so. Obviously we had a great relationship and still do with San Angelo Independent School District, and they've hosted us for many, many years. We've been playing football at Angelo State since 1939. We were at Angelo College, and we've never played at home. And our capacity will be about 6,000, so it won't be big, but it'll be very intimate. I think it'll be very loud. I think our student body will really get into it. I think the fans in San Angelo will really enjoy it. And this is just the beginning. This is not the ultimate end of the project. I think every year we'll be trying to make improvements, and hopefully the demand for seating will outgrow what we have, and then we'll be able to add on. But certainly this year, I think it'll be a great start for us. I think we're going to have a really incredibly competitive football team this year. We've got great leadership. Kyle Seaver and Rush Seaver and Kyle Washington, who are here today, are two great examples of that. We lost four conference games by a total of 15 points. And so we're really knocking on the door, and of course people say those things a lot, but we got a lot of key returning players coming back, new stadium. So there's a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation, and we're really looking forward to this project.
It'll be the first year for that. It will also be the first year for something absolutely amazing in college football, as the Lone Star Conference sort of leads the way for an in-season playoff. In weeks 11 and 12 of this Lone Star Conference season, all 8 teams will be involved in a playoff. Your reaction?
I think it's a great idea. I think especially for the top 4 teams, it's really going to help strengthen the schedule going into the playoffs. And certainly when you look at the playoff structure and who gets in, that strength of schedule is very important. we've got a really good league. If you finish in the top 4 through the regular season conference schedule, you're going to have a chance to go to the conference play. You're going to have a chance to go to the NCAA playoffs, and if you do well in the LSC playoffs, that only enhances your chances. So instead of us playing some non-conference teams that maybe we could easily beat up on, at the end of the year, we're really going to test ourselves, and I think that's going to be really important come selection time. I think it's going to be really important for our teams to get ready. They'll be moving on to the postseason, and I think it's very unique. It certainly was born out of the fact that we needed to do something to address our schedule situation, but I think it's a real positive for the league, and we're really looking forward to it.
Well, during our media luncheon here, I was looking at playoffs. I can't even remember who it was, Midwestern or somebody, opened last year at Central Washington. People don't realize in Division II, you go from Texas to Central, you shoot your whole budget there, don't you?
Yeah, and it's tough. It's tough on your student athletes. We played at Valdosta State last year, and we left San Angelo, we bussed to Austin, then we got on a plane, we flew to Atlanta, and then we bussed another 3.5 hours to Valdosta. I mean, Valdosta, Georgia is basically in Florida. And so, it's tough travel. That's tough travel, and the tough part about it is not just to get there, it's to get back. So you don't get back till late Sunday afternoon if you're lucky. It hurts your preparation trying to come back for the next week to prepare for your opponent. It hurts you a little bit academically because you're trying to play catch up, being gone a little longer than normal, and it's a little bit of a strain on the budget. You're right. So the fact that we're going to be keeping those games in the Texas-New Mexico area, I think, is really critical for the budget. But I think it's great for the fans too. How many of our fans can go to Ellensburg, Washington, or Valdosta, Georgia to see us play? Not very many. We may have a few ones that might live out there, but now they don't have to. Those last 2 weeks, they can follow us right in the state of Texas and in eastern New Mexico, and I think that there's nothing but positives in my mind that come out of this.
Well, the naysayer, and Stan addressed that in the luncheon, the naysayers say, oh no, you don't want to play the same teams twice. That's a negative. No, we've worked it into a positive. I think it can be a positive.
I think it can too, and if you look at other sports, we do it all the time in other sports. Football's certainly unique, and that we play once a week. I understand that, but volleyball, for instance, we played teams around 4 times once we met and got to the NCAA tournament, and it's just something you have to deal with. I really don't see it as a negative. I think that it's just gonna, it's gonna sharpen the teams in our league. And I think when we get to the NCAA tournament, I think our teams are going to be that much better and that much more prepared because they've already. You look on the big national scene. The leagues that have the playoff game at the end of the year. I think that really helps those teams get ready, for the BCS championship. Well, we're on a little different level in Division II, but I think the model is the same. When our teams will be playoff tested because they've already had 2 weeks of playoffs. So to me, it's a positive.
Angelo State, and in effect then the Lone Star Conference in good hands with Sean Johnson back in San Angelo, Texas. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it.
Okay.
All right.